Welcome to this week's version of Nichols and Dimes, our weekly video series. Well, we meet with new prospective clients all the time, and we get a number of questions that are fairly consistent. So our team put together a PDF entitled 10 Questions to Ask Your Advisor. So you could ask certainly your own advisor if you're working with an advisor. Of course, take some of these questions when you're interviewing a new prospective advisor. Well, the 10 questions are available on a PDF that's available on our website. Here's what it looks like. So if you just go on our website at nicholswealth.com, click on the Insights tab, you could see this one-page PDF that again gives us some idea of some questions that you can ask when you're interviewing a new advisor, or of course questions to ask your own advisor to make sure you're confident in your relationship. And if you're not confident in your relationship, maybe that will be quite apparent after you ask these questions. So let's dive in. What are these questions that we think would be ideal to ask your advisor? The first is personalized service. So what services does the advisor offer? Are they an investment only investment management, or let's call it financial advisor, or maybe they offer more comprehensive financial planning services where they do things like retirement income planning, or estate planning, or the combination of the, let's call it holistic planning. So what type of services does the advisor actually offer? Another thing to look at is investment philosophy. So Mr. Advisor, Mr. or Mrs. Advisor, what is your investment approach to planning or investing your client's money? Do you have a growth-oriented approach that's, let's call it long only, meaning you invest and buy and hold? Or maybe are you more tactical, where you make shorter-term decisions? If, for example, the market trend turns down, do you hedge? Do you not hedge? So what's your investment philosophy? And maybe it's some of each. Maybe it's more passive and tactical. So again, a combination of each. So again, Mr. or Mrs. Advisor, what is your investment philosophy? Third area we look at is, what is the client experience? So if I become a client, what is going to be my experience? Can you explain your client service philosophy and how you ensure that each client receives the personalized professional service that they deserve? So what is my experience going to be when working with you and your team? Another area that you look at is, and ask questions on, is fee transparency. What am I paying for the services I'm getting, Mr. or Mrs. Advisor? How do you get paid for the services that you recommend? Do you also get paid for recommending certain investment products or financial products than others? Are you also commission based, or are you fee based? So these again are some questions that you could ask. Are the fees that I'm paying you my all-in fees, or are, for example, there other fees in addition to the advisory fees? So again, some things that you consider asking your current or maybe even a new financial advisor. Client profile. So who's your ideal client, and how many new clients do you take on each year? Is the advisor or the advisor team, do they tend to work with, for example, younger people who are in more growth-oriented mode? Or maybe are they specialized, the advisor that is, in working with retirees, where the main goal is preservation and income in most cases? So who's your ideal client profile? And why is that important? Because in my opinion, or our opinion, you just want to really make sure you're working with someone who specializes in working with someone exactly like you, versus, again, a generalist who will meet with anyone who has, frankly, any assets. Another area you want to look at is regulatory controls. So as you know, there's hundreds and thousands of advisors that are some insurance folks, some are investment brokers, some are true fiduciaries. So just ask, are you a fiduciary or are you a broker? Again, you may recall fiduciaries have to abide by the fiduciary standard, which effectively they were required to put a client's interest ahead of their own. A broker's job is only to satisfy suitability. So very clear distinction. So again, regulatory controls. You could look up the background of any financial advisor on finra.org or SEC. I believe it's sec.gov or .org. So look at the background of your advisor and what regulatory controls They are governed by. Nothing wrong with doing research on your current advisor or an advisor you're interviewing. No different than you would do research probably on a surgeon that's going to do heart surgery on you. So do your research before, in our opinion, you hire an advisor. Another area to address is proactive communication. How frequently, Mr. Advisor, do you communicate with your clients? Do I hear from you once a month, once a quarter, twice a year, once a year? So just to get that expectation out there. And do you proactively, for example, send out the rationale for buy and sell decisions made on my account? So if you have a discretionary advisor that you may see some buys and sells within the portfolio, as an example, does the advisory team send out the rationale, with those investment decisions? Again, no right or wrong here. It's just on this particular one, it's just more having a clear expectation on what their communication situation is or will be. Another area to look at and ask, what is the advisor's experience or team's experiences? What licenses, certifications, and credentials do you and your team have? Folks have been in this industry, many years, maybe 10, 20, 30 years, and some folks have just started out. What is the advisors and the advisory team's experience? Of course, in my opinion, you really want to work with someone who has weathered financial market storms, ups and downs, and understands, how to make investment decisions and financial decisions, based on experience. So our opinion, it's ideal to work with someone who has that experience. So again, ask that question. Access information, another area on here. How are you going to access your data? Is there a website that you could log in as many times as you want to look at your account balances? Maybe a firm has an aggregation system where it includes your total net worth and portfolio value, including your bank and your house and things like that. So how do you access the information? How often, for example, can I call you to ask questions? And how does that process? Is it a call? Is it an email? How does that work? How do I access my information, and how do I access my relationship with my advisor? And another area, a very important area, and we actually get this question fairly often, succession. Mr. Advisor, what happens if something happens to you? What happens if either you retire or you sell the business, or God forbid, you pass away? What happens? Do I get, do I get sort of transferred to the home office, or is there someone at your local firm that will step in and serve me and effectively step in your shoes? So you want to understand what the succession plan is if something happens. Actually, we get that question more often than you think. So again, these are questions our team put together, over the years, and we thought we'd put it into one concise, summary, if you will. So again, here's what it looks like. Go on our website at nicholswealth.com. You can request that PDF. Here's what our website looks like. Click on the Insights tab, and of course, if you want to contact us to get a second opinion, you can click on that tab that says Contact Us. Again, in today's financial markets, there's a lot going on. Rising interest rates. We have inflation, of course, at I think 40-year highs. We have the markets starting to weaken again. I know we talked recently about a rally. Markets are starting to weaken. How does it affect you? Reach out to us for a second opinion, and we're happy to see if we can help. To that end, thank you again for watching. Have a great day.